collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Wave 10 of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection from Hasbro. As we can see here, there are 4 figures in this wave. So we have Zeo Yellow Ranger, we have In Space Pink Ranger, we have Dino Charge Green Ranger, and we have In Space Phantom Ranger? I guess he did appear in space toward the end, and I guess he did give Andros the Delta Megazord. I would argue he definitely showed up more in Turbo, but I don't know. Maybe they just had the assets already with the In-Space logo, or because there's another In-Space character in the wave, or maybe somebody just messed up. I don't know the logic behind it, but here we have the In-Space Phantom Ranger. Figure still looks really good, so I don't really care what they put on the box. Really nice Tom Whalen art here, so let's go ahead and check that out on both sides. And then you just have kind of a stock press photo for the figure there on the back. Next up, we have Dino Charge Green Ranger. I will say that the civilian head is looking much better in person. Those early renders had it not looking nearly like the actor, but we have some nice artwork here on the side as well. Like that press photo there on the back, that looks pretty cool. I like the effect piece for the sword, that actually looks pretty good. Up next, we have In Space Pink Ranger. So I think this finishes off In Space. They did manage to get the white stripes on the sleeves at the last minute there, so that's pretty cool. Again, really nice artwork here. And there is the photo on the back. And then we have Zeo Yellow, almost completing our Zeo team. The only one left is Zeo Pink, which is in the Cat 2-pack, which I did also get, so I will be reviewing that somewhat soon as well. So we'll be finishing Zeo, we're finishing In Space, even with some extra In Space friends, so really finishing off In Space, I guess. But that's cool, it's nice to complete some teams. We're getting actually pretty close to finishing off Dino Charge as well. I think we're missing Shelby and Kota. I think those are the only 2 left for Dino Charge. So we're getting there. We are completing some teams, which is pretty cool. So this is a pretty solid wave, I have to say. I'm going to go ahead and get everyone out of the boxes here, and we'll take a closer look. So here are the 4 figures out of the packaging. They all look pretty good. We'll start over here on the left with Tanya, the yellow Zeo Ranger. They did a pretty nice job. She comes with a ton of accessories. She's got the sword over here. She's got the blaster. She does have both of her nunchucks. I have her posed with just one right now, but she does have both. And they're all really nicely painted. The nunchucks have that little bit of silver there. If I go ahead and pop the sword out, we can take a look at how really nicely this is painted and detailed. So let me zoom in here a little bit and tilt the camera. So again, really intricate details, really nicely painted. That gold really looks nice. You have the blue here for the hilt. This is just molded silver plastic for the blade. And you can see here that all of the belt is painted nicely. That's all gold. You have gold trim here, which all looks really sharp. And then you have the white for the visor. Put the sword back in the holster, fits in there very nicely. We have the gun over here. And again, very tiny, nice detail, very nicely painted. She does come with an effect piece for this, so we can go ahead and just pop this on here. That just pegs right on. I don't think I have it pegged on correctly, but I promise it does peg in there. There we go. So that's kind of a fun little effect piece there. It looks pretty good. And then I will go ahead and pop that back into the holster here. So I really appreciate that she's got holster spots for both of those weapons. And just the belt is completely painted gold, which looks really nice. She even has some gold trim here around the skirt. Gold trim here around the boots. She does come with some interchangeable hands. She's got another gripping hand, so if you want her to be wielding both nunchucks at the same time. And then she's got just kind of a generic karate chop hand. And then, of course, we will take a look at her civilian head. I think they did an actual pretty nice job with this one. It's nicely detailed, nicely painted. I think the likeness is pretty good. The hair looks really, really nice. Really nice detail there. And then for the figure itself, I mean, pretty typical articulation. At this point, we're pretty deep into the Lightning collection that we know what to expect here. But you have a ball joint for the head. It's a little stiff. I had more than one of these be a little stiff when I first got them out of the box, to the point that I kind of had to, you know, turn them one way and you'd hear almost like an audible snap, like maybe there was paint that was sealed. But you have a ball joint there. There's also a hinge. You kind of want to be a little careful with these. I've had a lot of people say that they've had problems where the ball joints kind of snap, especially when trying to swap out the heads and the helmets. I don't usually bother with the civilian heads. I think they look good. But I just don't bother trying to put them on. I'm just going to keep the civilian heads off to the side in a bin. But I do think they look nice. But if you are going to pop the helmets off to put on the heads, just be careful. But you do have a hinge and a ball joint there. And I think the helmet looks great. You have a hinge and a rotation in the shoulder, as well as a butterfly joint there. You can see that move. She only has one elbow joint. The female molds only ever have one, but there is a rotation side to side as well. And then you have a hinge and a rotation in the wrist. You have a nice ball joint kind of joint here in the torso. She does have an ab crunch as well. It's a little tight, but you can see it there. And then we have a ball joint here in the hip. Now it is hindered a little bit by the skirt, but you can kick decently forward. You can kick a little bit to the back. You can definitely kick out to the side. There is a thigh swivel there as well. She has double jointed knees. Just be a little careful with them. I kind of feel like from time to time, if you try to bend them a little too quickly, they might snap. You have a boot rotation. You have a tilt here in the ankle as well as a side to side. So that's nice. You have that really nice ratcheted ankle hinge. So yeah, all in all, really nice articulation. I think the figure looks fantastic. Accessories are great. So all in all, really, really nice figure. And like I said, getting very close to finishing off the Zeo team. Just have Zeo Pink, which is in that cat 2-pack. But yeah, this is a really nice figure. She looks really good. I'm going to put her off to the side here. And next we will take a look at Cassie, the In-Space Pink Ranger. So we did eventually get that white on the sleeves, which I appreciate because that makes it look like the rest of the team would have been ununiform. I know we do have, Ashley has that gold, but that's because I think it's yellow on yellow, so I can let that slide a little bit. But again, she comes with a nice sidearm pistol here, which is pretty nicely detailed and painted. Let me zoom in here just a bit so we can take a closer look at that. That does look pretty good, and that fits very easily into the holster here. But then she's also got this more specific weapon. This is kind of the generic sidearm that they all have, and I know this has a name. I think it's Sonic Stunner, I want to say. I'm going to guess. That's probably wrong. It looks like mine's a little bent. I'm sure I could fix that with a little bit of hot water or something, but it's all right. But it looks nice. I really like the effect piece for this weapon, though, because it's kind of goofy, but awesome at the same time. It basically looks like the trap from the board game Mousetrap, but if it was an effect piece for this gun. So you just go ahead and pop this in here, and then that will peg in, and then it looks like it's firing this crazy, blast, which I love it. I think that looks really good. It's kind of a fun translucent pink. Definitely looks like the trap from Mousetrap, but still very cool. I like this a lot. It's a little difficult to get in and out, though, I will say, so be a little careful with that, because I just feel like that's very thin, and I do not want that to break. But it's a really nice weapon. I like it a lot. Helmet looks good. She's got the correct angle here on the visor. Overall, that looks really sharp. Again, head moves pretty well. You can definitely see the joint there that I was talking about, so just be a little careful with that, but she's got pretty much all the same motion that Tanya has. So pretty much all of the same articulation points. Still can't really get all the same shade of pink, but it still looks pretty good. For whatever reason, it seems like the torsos are always a little bit of a different shade of pink than the legs and the arms. But this one's a little bit better than usual, I will say. This one's not as egregious as some of the Mighty Morphin pinks that I've seen. So, all in all, not terrible. She does have some extra hands and other accessories. So she's got a karate chop hand and a closed fist. And then she does have her civilian head, which isn't bad. It kind of looks like the actress, but I think it looks more like Miranda Cosgrove from iCarly, but that's just me. But it's a decent likeness. It kind of looks like the actress. Not terrible. I feel like the more I look at it, the more it looks like the actress. But at first, to me, it really didn't. But it's not bad. At least it's nicely painted, like all the details are where they're supposed to be. It's pretty nicely detailed, so it's not bad. Pretty good. Pretty good civilian head there. But yeah, overall, I think the Pink Ranger figure looks pretty excellent. And this should finish off our team here. I think pink was the last one, so pretty psyched about that. We even have all the Psycho Rangers. We even have, apparently, the Phantom Ranger is apparently now in space as well. So in space should definitely 100% be complete, so that's very cool. Always happy to complete another team when it comes to Lightning Collection. Let me tilt this back up here. So next we'll take a look at Dino Charge Green. He looks good. I think they did a really nice job with this. I don't usually go for effect pieces, but I think for the sword here it actually works. I think that's pretty cool. He's also got the gun, which could use a little bit more in terms of paint applications. This side, not bad. Come around to this side, definitely missing some. Maybe with like a Gundam marker or something, you could finish that off. But you have all the black here, and then on this side you have none of that, which is a shame. I don't really like when they do that. I wish they would, whatever they're going to do, just do it the same on both sides. But the helmet looks good. I really like that a lot. You have some nice range of motion there. He's got the hinge and the ball joint as well. Pretty much all the same articulation points as the girls, except he definitely has a double jointed elbow that they don't have. Let me get that on the other bend. There we go. So you can see double jointed elbow there. Pretty much the same torso. A lot of nice silver paint, though. I think they did a really nice job. So kind of no matter which way you have this, the silver comes through. And I think that's nice. They did a good job with that. The yellow all looks great. I love the dino head here. That looks really sharp. Like I said before, the belt is all perfect. This is on kind of a softer piece of plastic, so this can kind of move up and down. Got that really nice ab crunch there. Otherwise, pretty much all the same articulation points. Got the boot swivel. Got the hinge. Nice hinge there in the ankle, as well as the rocker joint side to side. You get the double jointed knees. You got the thighs swivel. Kick pretty far forward. Obviously, they don't have a skirt, so not hindered at all with the hip joints there. But I like the extra texture on the sleeves. They do a nice job with that as well. I mean, sure, I wish the silver was painted on the back of the hand, but I get it. It's not a big deal for me personally. I would rather more paint applications on the gun, but that's just me. But yeah, overall, I really like this. I think they did a great job with the helmet. I think that looks really sharp. Very happy with that. His extra accessories, he's got two hands. He's got a closed fist. And then he's got this kind of like weird, like I guess like he's pointing at someone. Or honestly, I'm going to just say it. This is a double count up your sins hand. It just is. He's like pointing at something, you know, like he just snapped his fingers. It's cool. I don't know why they gave it to this character. I don't really remember him using this hand gesture all that often, but it's a neat hand. You could give it to any of the other Dino Charge Rangers, I guess, because it does have that unique back of the hand there for the glove. But yeah, it's neat. Very cool. And then his civilian head, which, like I said earlier, I think really looks better in person. Definitely looks more like the actor than I originally thought. But yeah, not a bad civilian head there. That's really not too bad. So last but certainly not least, we have the Phantom Ranger. And he really looks great. They did a fantastic job with him. Really nicely detailed. All of his joints feel really fluid to me, more so than any of the other figures in this wave, with the exception of the the elbow. This is his elbow. The lower elbow joint on his right arm. I don't know why. The top one moves perfectly. This one is really tight to the point that I had to kind of get like an X-Acto knife in there and kind of cut away around the joint because it felt like it was completely locked. But then once I was able to do that, I was finally able to get it to move. So hopefully yours is not like that. But otherwise, he's perfect. I mean, all of the joints, very fluid. Everything's moving really nicely. Even the knee joints are all moving really nicely. The shoulder joints, everything, really nice. He's got a butterfly joint there. It's a little restricted. This piece here, this whole chest piece, is just like one big piece of plastic over top of the normal figure. But it doesn't cause a problem or hinder articulation at all. He's still got the joint there. He's got the really nice, really fluid ab crunch there. So yeah, he looks great. I love the gun. I think that looks beautiful. Really nice paint applications there. I love the effect piece. You can also take the effect piece out of the gun and pop it onto his chest because he has that kind of ruby in his chest that can also fire. So that's really cool. You kind of get double duty there on that effect piece. Now, because he doesn't have a civilian head, they also tossed in one of these, which is just kind of that exploding chest piece that we got with all the putties, and I don't really know why they're including it here. Maybe just to really accentuate that ruby explosion or something, but you can go ahead and put that on. Really, you can put it on any figure. It will really clip onto any figure's torso, but they did include it here, so have another one of these, I guess. You probably already have a few of them, but have another one. But it's okay. I mean, they wanted to include something because he doesn't have a civilian head. That makes total sense to me. And it's fine. I mean, they really did a nice job with this guy. I don't really have much to complain about him. Now that I got that pesky elbow to move, he's really great. Really, really great. He does have some alternate hands. It's just really a set of closed fists. So nothing super exciting there. But yeah, it's a really solid wave. Honestly, this is probably one of my favorite waves. It's great. It's really, they all really, really look good. I was afraid, you know, In Space Pink sleeves were going to be weird. I was afraid they were going to miss some of the gold trim on Zeo Yellow, but they didn't. It all looks really good. I don't really have too much to complain about. Civilian heads are actually pretty good. The accessories are really good. Effect pieces make sense for all of the weapons and everything, with the exception of this, which I just feel like they just threw in, but it's because he doesn't have a civilian head. It doesn't make sense for that character to have a civilian head, so I totally get it. So they just kind of threw an extra bonus piece in there for you. Okay, that's fine, I guess. But yeah, it's a really solid wave. I mean, Phantom Ranger looks fantastic. Dino Charge Green is great. Pink and yellow both look really sharp. Plus, it's very nice to finish off in space, and with yellow Zeo here, we're getting very close to finishing off Zeo, so I always like when we get to finish off teams. Yes, they're teams we had already previously finished with Bandai, but still, you know, we're getting our complete teams again. And these have all of the weapons. You know, the Bandai figures didn't have all the weapons. Plus, let's be honest, the proportions on these figures are much more natural and look much better than those Bandai figures. You know what I mean. But these look good. So it's a really solid wave. I'm sorry it took me a while to get to it because it has been out for a little bit. But they're in stores now. I've been seeing them at Walmarts and Targets pretty much all over the place. So if you're looking for these, definitely get out there. Find them. They're great. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.